Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Wowhead Weekly number 111, 111. PTR is still up with patch 7.2, plus we've got some stuff going on live servers, so we're going to get into all of that as soon as I introduce my lovely co-host, Wowhead Site Manager, Perculia.
Hey everyone! So besides all the PTR news, we also have some cool site features we want to talk about that went live this week at the end. And if you have any questions for us about the news or just about WoW in general, you can message SAS148 in Twitch chat and he will give them to us. And he might be doing a giveaway as well, so keep an eye out on chat.
Yeah.
And we will announce all that at the end of the show.
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah, we should get into the PTR news.
I know. Okay, so the first thing is actually the video, which I think this workaround should work and we should be able to see it. So one of the things that was data mined this week that WoW had pulled out was the mount that we believe is going to drop off of Mythic Kill Jaden, correct?
We think we know it's from something called Gift of the Mindseekers, so we can speculate that is this like the old gods, or is this from this must be from a serious place?
Yeah.
Because we know that there are other mounts that are coming from middle of Tomb of Sargeras bosses.
Yeah.
So it's like, this one probably seems like he's from the end, but we don't know for sure yet. No one can kill him, but yeah.
Yeah,
he looks pretty cool.
Let's check it out. So this is what he looks like, and I think, oh heck yeah, it's working. So yeah, he's a wormy guy, and he has scales and gills and fins, and he's got a little treasure chest on his butt. Well, his worm butt.
Yeah, the flavor text for him is it feeds on your thoughts, even the ones you were thinking as you read this. And he reminds me of the evil cousin of the Mist of Pandaria Cloud Serpents.
Yeah,
he kind of has the same look to him, but he's scary. He's not peaceful and zen.
Though it's definitely not the mount that I would have expected to drop from anywhere. Even honestly, it's not as legion-y as I would have expected to be. I mean, obviously he's got that ominous black cloud smoky stuff, and he certainly doesn't look like a very nice guy, but in the same sense, I would have anticipated the mount dropping from Tomb of Sargeras to be, I don't know,
there is a Naga section. So there's a green recolor we found way back called the Abyss Worm, and it's now a drop from Mistress Sazine, who is a Naga boss in the little watery area. So
I can see this dropping. Nagas are demon-y. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Let me skip ahead and see if we can see it in flight.
Yeah, there's there's a spell, I think a mount special towards the end where it goes at the end, and that's kind of cool.
Oh my gosh, we're doing derpy flips right now, I guess. Yeah, he's cool and he's weird, and like Perk said, there are additional color variants, so it seems like it will be something that maybe there's a couple ways to get at least that model of mount, if not the whole mount itself. But yeah, he's weird and he's cool. I would have expected it to be more demon-y is all. I mean,
we know that the glory of the Tomb Raider achievement is
glory.
And it's called the Tomb Raider.
So good.
It's the reward is called Armaments of the Legion, and we haven't seen what that item is yet. And Armaments assumes that it's maybe weapon transmog, but that would be strange after mounts for that achievement after so many years. So I'm curious to see what that will be.
Just to clarify again, we don't definitely know where that mount comes from. We just know it's going to be something that's serious. We do know that the Darkener title will be the reward for killing Mythic Kill Jaden.
Yep, that is a definite. And we also...
Would that be Darkener Perculia, or would that be Perculia the Darkener?
So I think, if you hear me typing, on Wowhead, we show... Oh, so it's name the Darkener.
The Darkener.
Yeah. So Perculia the Darkener.
Yeah. What else did we find out this week?
All right. So we got armies of Legion Fall items data mined and associated with the reputation. Armies of Legion Fall is a new faction coming in 7.2.
Yep.
Hitting Revered with it is needed for Broken Isles Pathfinder. The requirement was actually lowered from Exalted recently, so less work you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now we know what we're going to get as some rewards. They include the Cauterizing Void Shard, which it's some weird, like, it restores health but also destroys health at the same time. It's like a sort of interesting outdoor broken shore item.
Yeah.
There's also the Legion Fall banner, which is a banner that shows your pride. The Legion Pocket Portal, which was data mined like a year ago, and I think people thought it was from the Wardens originally. That's finally coming into the game and that's going to be revered. The Repurposed Fel Focuser gives you 500 to your primary stat and counts as a battle and garden elixir, and we've seen stuff like that before.
Yeah.
Like there was that garrison reward, like the Aurelius crystal that did something similar.
Yeah.
And then at Exalted, you have the Legion Invasion Simulator, which summons a toy ship. That just looks like a little angry Legion toy.
I'm interrupting
and then
you
we
to
have
say thank you so much to Cyber Mike B, Rich Wharf, and Caliv Thorn for subscribing to our channel with Twitch Prime. We really appreciate it. I'm going to use this 2 seconds to remind you guys that if you do sub us with Twitch Prime, you have to renew that manually every month. It won't auto-renew. Continue, Perculia.
So yeah, we just know about those 6 items. There could be more coming. You get reputation by doing world quests on the Broken Shore. Some of these items will cost nether shards. Yes, that is the same currency as the pre-invasion currency. So if you have some, you're in luck.
I do.
And yep, the PTR is still kind of in progress. So we haven't done like a big Broken Shore guide yet. But more will be coming. There's also some items we think are from like cool chests and rares, but we're not 100% sure yet. But we have even more stuff coming from the Broken Shore.
Yeah, and just as a catch up, if you are just tuning in or you haven't been keeping up, the Broken Shore is the new area in 7.2 that is an outdoor zone where you'll be doing quests and world quests. There'll be invasions. It's where the Tomb of Sargeras is located, and it's where we will be fighting the Legion. We're going to go and try to make a stand to make our way to the new raid.
Yep.
So
then we learned a lot about artifacts.
Yeah.
On a more like serious
artifacts are scaring me a lot. I feel like I made a video a while ago that was like, artifact power is out of control. What are we going to do about this? And then they're like, I know what we'll do. 13 trillion artifact power for your next trait.
Yeah, so to recap from last week, we figured out all the artifact behavior, and there's an infinite trait with 50 ranks, and there's a bunch of other ranks you can get because all the 3/3 ranks become 4/4.
Yeah.
And they made it so that at really high levels, you have trillions of artifact power needed for the next rank, and it was so much power it actually broke like Wowhead's calculator. We had to like fix it to have numbers that big. And the idea was that they didn't want you to feel that you could max out the artifact. They wanted you not to be in like the 54 trait Nighthold Blight set. So they made the numbers really high, so you wouldn't be encouraged to grind it. But if you were doing an activity and you didn't get loot, but you got an AP token, you could still, throw the AP towards, this next far off trait.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Perseverance 2455 for subscribing. I'm sorry, Perk up.
Yeah, I'm like, people are like super, I don't know, they're like subscribing because they like artifacts. It's cool. So we learned a few more things this week to put more stuff into context. Artifact knowledge will go up to 50, and last PTR build it was 40, so that means like really high rates of getting artifact power. I'm pulling up the numbers for 50. We data mine this every build, but it's like at AK level 50, you get something like, hold on, there's a lot of zeros here.
Yeah.
It's something like 552 million bonus as the multiplier to your base artifact item. So even if you're not grinding out, you will get a huge boost to your artifact power item. And yeah, so they've done some minor tweaks to artifact power cost and knowledge scaling. Again, we try to post these every build just in case you're doing the math and you want to be like, how many days till I get my new trait? But, if you're not like cutting edge doing the math, I would say not worry about this, but just realize that values are going up to 50 with knowledge. Getting artifact power will be faster as time goes on because 50 is really ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if you care about some stuff for your class, the artifact traits that were not known, Blizzard put in real names and descriptions for them, and I think that included stuff like Vengeance Demon Hunters, Holy Priests, Destruction Warlocks, and Protection Warriors. So yeah, that's what we know about artifacts.
That's what we know, and it's nuts. I mean, you posted something on Twitter that showed how high the artifact power gets as you're putting your points into that infinite talent. And I really think, was it 13 billion or 13 trillion?
So we're up to it's scientific notation, but it's 2 to the 14th exponential power.
I don't even know what that, like, I'm so far out of high school. I haven't had to do that many zeros.
It's a lot. Let me see. Let me move this in the calculator quickly.
I feel like it was trillion.
Just so people are aware.
I might.
We're not saying this to like freak people out. We're just saying that
excuse me.
It's not going to be possible to get all 101 traits. If you're someone that's just starting off and right, like it's designed that you just always have something to work towards. But yeah, like it can really add up quickly. Yeah. So yeah, there was like dozens of zeros in there. But I mean, Blizzard did try to explain this last week, saying that like you're not meant to max this out. Like you cannot do like 50 Maw of Souls a day for the next 2 years to be 50 out of 50. Like it's not designed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they wanted to make a big statement so you wouldn't realize that. Oh, one more thing. Now that I'm like clicking this calculator a billion times, the infinite trait, which was Concordance of the Legion Fall, it's still a proc for your primary stat if you are a DPS or a healer, but it's now versatility for tanks because that probably is more worthwhile. Yeah. So that's changed. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so to get from the final rank is something like 118. 000 so 12 zeros.
12 zeros.
That is a lot of zeros.
So it'd be so it'd be 1, 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million, billion.
Yep.
10 billion, 100 billion. So it's 13 with 12 zeros. So it's 1,300 billion. That's a normal number. That's a totally just casual number.
I do feel like, I mean, maybe it's like with the stat squish, like you don't want the numbers to be so big that they feel meaningless after a while. So
like 1,300 billion?
I feel like, God. Yeah, I feel like someone could just go to the artifact calculator and panic when they see that.
I panic when I see 1,300 billion. I didn't even know 100 billion was a thing, but I'm pretty sure it is. Ugh. All right, let's move on from that. That's stressing me out. Okay. So there's also, we were talking about the Legion Fall rep earlier, and what I am more interested in is the Paragon reputation, because in 7.2, you'll be able to go beyond Exalted with the Broken Isles faction. So if you are getting those tokens for reputation as you're doing your emissary quests or whatever, make sure you're saving them if you're already Exalted. Don't waste them because...
Oh, actually... Blizzard is like, no, you can't do that.
No, don't tell me that. What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they added wording to everything. Yeah.
No. So, wait, what's the point? No. So those don't work?
Right. No. They only work up to Exalted. Yep.
I am so done with this game. I'm so upset. Wait, so I want to back up for a second and have a real discussion with Senpai here for a moment. Okay. Blizzard. What in the heck? Why can't we use our rep tokens that we've been gathering? I don't understand. I earned that rep. Did I or did I not earn the rep? I earned it. Why can't I use it? That's it. I'm going to write a very angry post on the forums.
I think you should do that. Anyway, if you decide that once you're exalted, you want to start doing more quests
I have been doing the withered training again, and you know how much I hate that. I've been doing it to gather Nightfall rep tokens.
Sir Mars not your thing.
I know, and I'm a healer. It's awful, and then oh my god, and all for naught. All for naught. I'm so upset right now. This is... go ahead. I won't interrupt you again. I mean, I probably will, but I'll apologize.
No. It's good because I was going to write a post on this, and like, it was obviously not something very apparent. So maybe I should make this more obvious.
Oh my god!
How I was able to tell was that Blizzard actually didn't announce this, but if you look at the data mining, if you go to a Valajar token page and then you go to the PTR version, there's this extra line of text being like, does not work beyond Exalted. So that's the only way we kind of know about
so
the change.
Upsetting. I'm so upset. I don't understand. So you have to, basically everybody will be on the same page the day 7.2 comes out, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like everyone Exalted has to start doing world quests if they want to work towards these satchels, which may contain mounts and this new item we found.
Thank you for the cheer, King Murgle, but I still didn't look up what that means. I know it means something good, though. I know you just did something super nice. I just don't know what it is. But I appreciate it.
So last week we
But you can get a disguise toy. That's fun.
Yeah. So last week, like every 20k rep, you get this like special emissary cache.
Yeah.
And then we know that mounts are from the emissary caches because the journal says so, but we don't know if it's guaranteed or whatever. But there wasn't anything from the Warden's faction, and then this build added the Warden disguise toy, which is called Sira's Extra Cloak. It transforms you into a Warden on the Broken Isles. It lasts 20 minutes, so that's not too bad. And that's what we know about that, basically. So, yeah.
I'm so upset I can't use my tokens.
It would be nice if they were BOA so you could send them to someone else.
Well, it's like, it just feels like it's such a waste. And I thought it was like a good, and I could just hang on to them and it was going to be so worth it. And I was planning ahead and being a responsible World of Warcraft adult. And it turns out, no, I'm just a hoarder of things I don't need. As usual.
Yep.
So business as usual then.
It feels similar to Blizzard telling players not to save up the AP tokens for 7.2 because if they upgrade to the empowered artifact, they can't use the AP tokens. So, like, I guess it's encouraging people not to just, like, play and stockpile. Maybe they want to
but that's different though, because the thing is you can always be using the artifact tokens now. Like, there's no point where getting artifact power is like, oh well, this is useless. There's always
if you're fully maxed out. If you're fully maxed out, people are just saving the tokens to use them in 7.2. And now it's like, no, you can't, save them and use them in 7.2. I feel like a blue post maybe should have been made on the reputation stuff because Blizzard made a special post on the artifact token change, but not this.
I also feel like the artifact token changes things for so much smaller of an audience than, like, getting exalted with the Broken Isle factions is not hard. Like, you do that through regular gameplay. You don't have to grind it out. Like, casual players are exalted, whereas, like, people who play a lot of WoW, a lot of them are still. I'm not anywhere near maxed out on my artifact. I'm not anywhere near maxed out. Because it's not, I don't want to sit there and grind out Mythic Plus dungeons. I just don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. So, like, I feel like the amount of people that were affected by changing the artifact power was so small compared to the amount of people that'll be affected by the reputation thing.
Yeah. I mean, I just looked it up again, seeing if there was a change, and it is use grants 250 reputation with the Valajar up to exalted reputation. So
my salt levels are dangerously high. I'm done.
I'm sorry to be the bearer.
It's not your fault, Perk. You're not even the bearer.
I know. I'm just like, you're like, oh, reputation. This is
I was
cool.
so
like,
excited. I was doing withered training today. Like, that's how excited I was for this. Yep. You know how I hate the withered training.
I know.
And you know the worst part is I was doing so good, Perk. I killed Dro. I got his key. I went into a hall that I had never even seen before. I went back to the beginning and went in that locked gate. I was at like 490 something, and then my doorbell rang, and it was FedEx, and they needed a signature. And I had just pulled the big like troll ball guy.
Oh no.
So it was the best run of my life. And then FedEx just came in.
3 more days.
I know, I don't want to do it anymore.
I was say you could
doing it for
at least there was like toys and I mean there's toys and stuff.
Yeah, I did get a toy today, and I got a really huge artifact power thing. I don't know. Whatever. I'm done being I got the Berserker today though, finally. We're 6 months in the expansion. I just got the Berserker.
Oh no, the Berserker is really good, and he helps with Dro a lot. Like, he will tank, so you don't have to worry about.
Well, what happened was I just waited until I had 2,000 and then went in with 20 of them, and like the difference between having 10 and 20 is enormous. Like, it's huge. And next time I go in, I'll have 20, plus I'll have the Wizard, plus I'll have the Berserker. So Watch out,
so
Withered Training. I'm sorry. I've gotten way out. Like, every single podcast, it's Perk trying to stay on task and me, like, following a shiny thing.
It is fine.
I'm done now.
We have crafted legendary news.
This is cool.
It's actually shiny. Yeah.
This is a shiny thing. So we talked about crafted legendaries. We've talked about them a couple times. Just to catch up anybody who maybe this is the first time tuning in or they don't know what's going on. In 7.2, you'll be able to get legendaries in more ways than just the way you can right now. It's not just going to be random. You will also be able to craft legendaries, and you'll be able to target legendaries because there's a token that you can get from the Broken Shore, and you can select what slot you want the token to be, and the token has a chance to be a legendary. So, and there's also now bad luck protection on multiple specs and blah, blah, blah. But back to crafted legendaries, they have some really cute little effects on them. Like the leather and mail ones allow you to kind of fly around for a minute.
Yeah, so basically you get, each time you kill an enemy, you get a 5% movement speed increase for 1 minute, and it stacks up to 5 times. And then at 5 stacks, you turn into a wisp with the leather one, or a spectral owl with the mail one, and then you can fly for a minute.
Yeah, it's cute.
So,
and then, on the topic of flying, transition.
Yep.
We also found out this week that with the Druid class form mount thing that's coming in 7.2, you will be able to carry an ally on your back. So it is Mounty mount form. So you're going to be a useful Druid. And then also, Wowhead spotlighted Hunters.
That's a good transition.
Week. Yeah, transition.
Yeah,
we spotlighted Hunters this week because, of course, their class mount is amazing. It's like the Wolf Hawk guy. And how do you get the other colors for this?
Okay, so one of the colors you just do, so you have to have Pathfinder, and then you do a quest, and then you get the kind of like brown orangey variation, and then there are 2 other tints. You have to get Power Ascended, so you have to get like the first Concordance of the Infinite point into your artifact, and then you can buy the Dire Wolfhawk, which is the gray tint, or the if you do, you have to get that on the Marksmanship one, or you can get the greenish one if you get Power Ascended on the Survival artifact. So
it's dependent on what spec you have already, and then you can buy the other ones from there.
Yeah, and then you don't need to be in that spec to use the mount. This is just a way to like encourage you to do, put your artifact points into other weapons.
I think we're going to come back to Hunters in just a second, but so I think it's very strange the way they're handling class mounts and rewards.
It's really
and
inconsistent.
In 7.2. It's so inconsistent. It's so weird, and I don't know how they're going to deal with, like, people are going to be upset about this because, like, for instance, Death Knights, every spec of Death Knight has a pet that is associated with their mount. They're really adorable, but then, like, monks, it looks like they're not even getting variants of their mounts, but they have a pet that goes with their mount. And then demon hunters can get a toy that's Demon Hunter Pepe, and they don't even have to do the Pepe achievement first. So they're like the only class that gets a free Pepe.
Well, I mean, you still have to max out your artifact. But, and also, like, people are also really split on, like, the mounts that change color based on spec. Like, you could say, like, oh, like, I just have one monk mount. But then I'm seeing Death Knights saying things like, oh, I really love the green dragon. It matches my transmog, but I play Frost, so I'm never going to be able to see this green variation.
Yeah, but then, like, Hunters can buy all their variations. It's just weird, and so I don't know why they would do this. It's really, really an odd choice for me of like, I guess if there was something that was super intricately tied to the lore and, like, they could defend it in that way, I wouldn't have such I don't want to say a problem with it, but, like, it's just really strange. Like, it's just strange.
Right.
Like, it's very unequal.
I thought I don't know, someone tweeted that we were getting, like, matching class pets for every mount. So I think people thought that.
Well, I thought that after the Death Knight. I was like, oh, maybe everybody's getting pets. Because there was also crackers for the rogue. So I thought maybe everybody was, and they just weren't in the data yet. But no, some people are getting pets. Some people aren't getting pets. Some people are getting toys. Some people can use their alternate variations of mounts. Some people can't. It's weird.
Yeah, it's really inconsistent, and Blizzard keeps adding stuff several builds. So, for example, I wrote this guide to all the rewards. last week, and I think we talked about it on the show. And then 3 days ago, Blizzard added an item for mages, and mages previously had nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, is every class going to get them? Because there's some that still don't have anything. Like, if you're a pet collector, do you have to play, these 4 classes and like these 3 specs? But if you're a mount collector, you have to play like these other 6 specs. Like,
the Pepe thing really bothers me because it's not just a disguise for Pepe. It's a Pepe toy, and the only Pepe toy right now requires you to do like 3 raids, 10 dungeons, all of this work to get Pepe. And then, like, I understand you're saying you have to max out your artifact weapon. I get that, and I get that that's a lot of work that a lot of people aren't going to do. But, like, I also think that, like, gating something like a Pepe toy behind Demon Hunter artifact progression is bizarre. It's really weird.
I'm not sure the Pepe audience really overlaps with like the type to max out.
The hardcore Demon Hunter audience. It's just really strange. Like,
yeah,
I
actually have a go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm done.
I actually have a blue post on this. Yeah, where a lot of people are sharing our concerns, and Blizzard wrote a blue post on this, which addressed like some things but not all. So, like, they were saying that they are going to drop the required currency for each item from 10,000 to 1,000. And they want the hard part of getting these items to be from maxing out the artifact.
So they're not understanding what the problem is then. Got it. Perfect. They're addressing people's concerns with the wrong things.
Yeah, they said in 7.2, we want these bonuses, aka items, to feel like a badge of honor for players that have unlocked the final ability on their empowered artifact. For some time, they'll be pretty exclusive, and this is intentional. It makes sense for the Blood Death Knight with their bloody mount to also have the Blood Brood Whelpling, showing off their dedication to the specialization. It is also important to note that we have no plans to remove these items in the future, and we will reevaluate their acquisition in a post-artifact world. You won't permanently be missing out on anything. So it's good to know that they're not going away, but they're still not getting
But are they saying, like, don't worry, guys, you can always go and make a Demon Hunter alt, and in 3 expansions, you can still do Broken Isles emissary quests to get artifact power to grind out your Pepe. Like, I understand the idea of prestige, but putting things like a pet, that bothers me. It already bothers me right now that there are pets that I can't get because I don't have 100s of that class, because I am a pet collector. I have, like, I want to say my pet collection is like 6th on my server. Like, I have a huge pet collection. I think I'm at 827 unique pets. It bothers the hell out of me that, like, I have spent literally millions of gold, couple hundred, if not over $1,000 on things, and then, like, I have to go in order to get the druid pet is locked behind being a druid, and now these Death Knight pets are not only locked behind being a Death Knight, but a specific spec of Death Knight. And I know the Demon Hunter
and like it keeps changing.
A toy. It just
like it's like, oh, like,
if you want to do something prestigious, make it an artifact appearance. Why would it be a pet? Why would it doesn't make any sense.
It also feels uneven. Like, if your main is a shaman, you don't have anything.
And we have to, like, do things that go against everything. Like, I would like to have a talk with whoever invented the shaman mount, because, like, everything in shaman lore, it's wrong. It's wrong. We ask the elementals to help us. They agree occasionally. We do not saddle them and ride them. It's not okay. Like, why would they ever do anything for us when we're treating them like horses? Sorry, I'm done. I'm very triggered today.
I'm just curious. What would you want the shaman mount to be? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I feel like if there was gonna be a shaman, like, I could see. I like the idea of incorporating an elemental into it, and I wouldn't mind if it was maybe like an elemental spirit that was like a bird or some sort of animal. But the idea that it's actually the same exact elemental that we summon when that we call upon for their aid, that we're then just saddling up and riding them, it feels wrong. And then also, if I was a mage, I would be upset. Like, why do shamans get this big over-the-top
No, people do not. I previewed the mage mount yesterday, and people are just like, oh, this is my Dalaran sewer cover.
I don't mind the mage mount, though. It at least makes sense with the lore, and I get it. Is this a WoW complaint stream? Today it is. But I don't know. There's this whole class mount thing is very exciting, but the inconsistencies between classes are jarring.
Yeah, I feel, just like the hardcore artifact audience overlapping with people that are really into collecting things is not totally a perfect fit, and maybe Blizzard didn't realize that. But, like, people that were really into like pets or mounts, that will, like you said, like farm all these things, or like, they're not feeling.
Well, I understand having like the mount locked because that makes sense. Everybody is getting a mount, but I don't understand why it's, oh, well, this class gets one based on their spec, this one only gets one, this one can have all of them. Like, all of those rules should be the same for everyone. Definitely.
Yeah.
Whatever they decide
also,
the
like
rule
with
is.
transmog being a thing, it's like, oh, this is my transmog that I like. Your mount is always changing color if you play a Death Knight or a Shaman or, a hybrid class where you might have to respec on the fly, but it's like, oh.
Well, and I'm also a big fan of
I've seen a lot of people disappointed that their colors were sort of changing without, outside of their control.
Well, and also, now does that mean that mages get 3 separate mounts or one mount that just changes based on their spec?
Right.
So then hunters get to add 3 mounts to their book and mages only get to add 1.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, that's also inconsistent. And paladins and rogues can end up with quests and purchasing them. They can get 4 mounts total. And the ones that don't change, so druids change by race, Death Knights, mages, priest, shaman, and warrior change by spec, so they only get 1.
I don't know. I feel like this is something that needs to be addressed before 7.2 comes out. It's really unfair. And I am someone who, like, people say on my videos all the time, like, you never say anything bad about Blizzard. You only have positive opinions, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I just feel like this is really unfair. Like, I just feel like this whole. I
feel like it's a little confusing as well, because we saw all this at BlizzCon, so people had preconceptions on how it would work. And it's like, oh, you can get the mountains other ways. And now it's like, no, actually, like, only some of you can get the tints, and there's all this other stuff we didn't show. So, the messaging could have been better.
You know what it is? It seems like there's 12 different teams working on them. It doesn't seem like one coherent or one consistent group of people working on this one project that is class mounts and class quests and all that. It seems like the rogue people are doing their own thing, the Death Knight people are doing their own thing, the shaman people are doing their own thing. It just seems like nobody is communicating with each other.
Yeah, hopefully they can iron it out more. We did have that Q&A last week, but we did not get a PTR launch date, and usually when there's a Q&A, we do get that. So
I hope hopefully
that means there's some more time on the PTR.
And like, this is one of those things where I feel like a lot of people misuse. I always joke and say, I'm going to leave an angry forum post. Let me just iron that out. I'm kidding. I never do that. But I feel like this is one of the downfalls of the World of Warcraft forums, because the forums, this would be the best place to have this discussion where people can say like what they do or don't like about class mounts while they're still in testing, while there's time. But the forums get so overwhelmed with things that really are irrelevant to the game, what's going on, right, that like I don't even feel like if we did go and started this, forum on like, here are all the inconsistencies that as players we would like to see something done about, it feels like it wouldn't get looked at anyways. So it's like I don't even know where to leave feedback, because I don't feel like there's any good outlet for that.
Yeah, it's also tough. We've talked about like how 7.15 and 7.2 are overlapping, and how it's really tough for people that are doing stuff on live servers, just like average players, to test something on the PTR. And I know it's really tough for raiders to find time to test things on the PTR this cycle, like Mythic testing opened this week. But there's even a smaller crowd that's like, oh, like I'm a pet collector, I'm gonna go try to collect all the pets on the PTR because I don't have enough to do on live. So yeah. I feel like I don't have numbers, but I feel like maybe there's a smaller pool of people, testing the PTR out, which is really important that we, have really good coverage. So when people are short on time, they can at least analyze, the posts and the videos we're making and form an opinion that way. Yeah,
and I understand, or at least, I know they've been a lot better about communication. There's been a lot more Q&As lately. Let me give credit where credit's due. But I would also I'm not the only one who has repeatedly said things about the class mounts being inconsistent and being concerningly inconsistent. But, I haven't even seen them say things like, don't worry, guys, we're still ironing things out. I saw Muffiness a while ago. I think it was like, oh, no, there'll be more tints. It's fine. But then now we're finding out, for some people, and some are tints and some are different mounts entirely. And I just...
Yeah, I feel like it would be better if just, they had power ascended, and every spec had, I don't know, spec or class had alternate mountains, and they were from power ascended, and leave out the pets because now it's like, oh, I have to do
Or
power ascended on a
everybody
death
should get a
knight
pet.
for this pet, but like I'm a druid, I just need to, you know, do my order resources.
Yeah.
And like it's very different ways to get
It would be
pets.
fine if everybody got a pet, and if it was like, okay, yeah, well, I can't get this pet because I don't play that class, but I get my own pet, so that's cool. But like that's not even what it's like turning out to be. It's turning out that just some classes are kind of getting more love than other classes, and I understand it's the nature of the beast, and with different classes and variations and stuff, there's no way that it's ever going to be 100% perfectly balanced, but this doesn't even feel like they're trying. And I would just love them to say something like, hey, we hear you guys and we are going to work on it.
Yeah, getting back to the notes, this is actually a good example of it because I've gotten lots of confusion on this. So if you get power ascended only on the Beast Mastery artifact, you can then purchase Tome of the Hybrid Beast, which lets you tame Feathermanes. Yeah. And the confusion came from people thinking that because they had to max out the, you know, Beast Mastery artifact, that they could, you know, tame these pets in Beast Mastery spec.
But they're not even exotic. You know, it makes no sense.
What one is so. Okay, so I don't know if you want to put the slideshow up, but yeah, I've got most of them are not exotic. You can tame them in any spec, except for we've got the Lost Spectral Griffin Spirit Beast.
Okay, so hold on. Those were small, so hold on, I'll show them here.
Okay.
I just showed the Wolfhawk pets. Now, do you have to be Beast? Do you have to have the Beast Mastery maxed out to get the Wolfhawk pet?
Yeah, all of these count as Feathermanes. So the official definition of a Feathermane is
a four-legged beast with feathers.
Hippogriffs, griffins, owlcats, wolfhawks, and wyvern.
Gotcha.
So, a few weeks ago, Muffinus was asking on Twitter, like, what sort of rare tames people wanted to see, and some people tweeted him suggestions, and they made him in, like, this Lost Spectral Griffin, as well as the Corrupted Hippogriff model, and the name of the pet, it's like, oh, this is the pet of Elisond, from Nighthold. There are Wolfhawk tames, and they match the mount tints. I think the Wowpatopia community already found where they're from. And this is not related to Feathermane tames, but the Falcosaurs are now tameable on the PTR, and they are part of the Raptor family. So you can have your mount and your pet and your Falcosaur tame now as well.
So wait, in order to get this pet, this one that looks like the Hunter mount, it comes in the three colors of the Hunter mount. You have to have the Beast Mastery power ascended.
Yep.
That's stupid. That's dumb. Like, 2 of those aren't even for Beast Mastery spec. That's dumb. Blizzard needs to really have a meeting where everybody powwows about the logic of all of this, because that's dumb. That's dumb.
They should also say in the tooltip somewhere that it's usable by any spec, because usually if you have to be a spec to, like, if there's a legendary for your spec, that legendary is not going to really do anything when you change specs. Yeah. So people are used to spec-specific things not working for other specs.
It's very confusing. It's weird. It's confusing. I don't know how I feel about it other than kind of bad. Now, in other news, we were just talking about the mage mounts, and I actually don't hate the mage mounts. I know some people do. I'm not one of them. Thank you so much for 1,500 cheer. I don't know what cheer means. I gotta look that up. I'm pretty sure it's like a donation. I highly doubt it was $1,500, so I really need to look into this because I have no clue what's going on. I appreciate it, though. Also, their comment on that cheer was, I vote Panzer to be Blizzard's new president of WoW to fight for elemental equality. My man, you get me. So anyways, mages, this most recent PTR build, actually had their mounts updated to include more spell effects. So they're kind of shinier and sparklier and have more particles now. I've got a little slideshow up of the before and after, and it's subtle, but it's noticeable. Yeah,
I think fire, you can tell it the most.
I think the frost one is pretty noticeable as well, because it's kind of covered in like a mist now. So anyways,
you have some icicles on it too.
I don't hate the mage mounts. Like, I know a lot of people don't really like them, but I like them. I don't mind them at all. What I'm saying though is they're different.
They're not a horse, they're they're a disc. It's like, well, if you didn't do Pandaria Lore Master, congrats, you have a disc now. Like,
not
it's
only
not
that, but Pandaria Lore Master has the cloud underneath it, and it's red. It really doesn't look particularly similar. Like, I mean, they definitely have a very distinctively different look. But what's strange to me is that, you know, if I was a Frost Mage, I would be kind of upset that, like, Shaman all get this big elemental to ride on, and I have an elemental, but I can't ride on my elemental. What is that?
Yeah, it's also interesting because as we're previewing all of these videos...
and Warlocks could have rode around on a Void Walker.
Yeah. So as we're previewing all the quests, the Mage quest specifically sends you to the Eye of Eternity to summon different elementals for every spec. So, like, you defeat the Arcane Elemental, and then, like, a Magma Rager, and then, like, some Frost Elementals. So, you know, Elementals are definitely, you know, in the forefront of the class mount quest line.
It's weird. I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah. I really hope that, I mean, 7.2 is pretty far off, so who knows? There could be a lot of changes before it goes live. I would like to think there'll be a lot of changes. How many times have I made videos early into a patch, and then by the time the patch comes out, I've, like, lied to people? I mean, not intentionally, but the information, everything is tentative. Everything is subject to change. So hopefully...
We've seen modifications to the tier 20 armor sets. Like, it was a big deal when we highlighted Paladins because we were highlighting all these cool, like, armor bits that had been hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the helm for Mythic has changed again. Like, it's not a halo, it's kind of a halo, but it's more of a helmet. So, you know, Blizzard, that's an example of stuff Blizzard is changing now and then.
So I don't know. I know we've gotten a little, like, I've gotten a little heated here, but I'm back down to earth again. I'm sorry. In other news, there was a blue post this week that people were making a bigger deal about this than it is. So it was blue posted that in 7.2 you will no longer be able to change the nameplates of friendly units while in a dungeon or raid instance, which a lot of people were like, oh my god, my add-ons are going to break, blah, blah, blah. But truthfully, anybody who's using nameplates and it matters, it's not in a raid or a dungeon. Like, if that's how you're healing, I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's still working in PvP. It still works in
PvP. It just doesn't work in PvE, which most healers and stuff are using, like, their raid frames, not people's. That would be chaotic. That would be
If you've been following up on any of the Mythic Kill videos, you might have seen things being like, oh, that's a really clever looking add-on. And Blizzard tried to take pains to say that, you know, like, the people doing this were clever, like, they didn't do anything illegal, but they did it in a way that Blizzard didn't expect, and it, you know, made the encounters easier.
Was it, like, supposed to be a workaround for the thing that broke add-ons with the arrows and stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They're like, add-ons were using visual adjustments to friendly nameplates as a method to automatically coordinate difficult positioning requirements.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it was. It probably had to do with, like, I could see a lot of different things that they could have done with that, and that makes sense. I don't watch many Mythic Kill videos because it makes me feel bad about myself. Because I was Mythic raiding last expansion, and I don't at all this expansion. Thank you so much for subscribing there, Meridian. We appreciate it.
Yay.
Thanks.
Yeah. So that is that's a thing that is going on.
Yeah.
I know some people are concerned that maybe there's, like, edge cases that Blizzard didn't think about or take into account when they made this decision, but hopefully we have more time between 7.2 and the next raid is not coming right at the start of 7.2, so there's still time to iron out some.
Oh, and it'll be a while in. It'll be like Nighthold. I bet it comes in 7.2.5 because we have to, like, do the whole Broken Shore before we get to the raid. So
yeah, and, like, we've hardly had any testing.
Yeah.
I still think that for perceptions, you don't want the people that are, like, super enthusiastic about the game to be having meltdowns about live rating and PTR testing on the same time.
Yeah.
But they did say more testing would be coming.
Yeah. So this patch schedule and patch have been a little strange. So I'm interested to see if this is going to be a learning experience or a new trend.
Yeah, I feel like Blizzard didn't want to do the 12-month gap again, so they did this to prove that they could do fast patches. But, you know, like, I don't want feast or famine. I want, like, a steady stream of content, not like, oh, like, Nighthold raid and the PTR starts on the same day.
Now would have been today, like, this week would have been a good time for 7.2 PTR to start. Because I feel everybody's like LFR hasn't even fully unlocked yet.
Agreed.
You know, that would be a good time. Once LFR is fully unlocked and you're actually, like, every facet of person that's interested in raiding now has the opportunity to do it, that would be a good time to start testing the next raid. Because at that point, harder core raiders are already starting to make solid progression.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on the matter, and that's all I got to give. As far as live servers go, the Darkmoon Fair is in town from March 5th to March 11th. If you haven't done the Darkmoon Fair recently, definitely check it out, because in the past, year or so, they've added so many new rewards and games and things to do, and it's some things even I had my wings on the other day, which were added in mid Warlords of Draenor, and somebody was like, oh my god, where'd you get those?
Yeah, those are so pretty. That's one of the most popular toys on Wowhead. They look so cool.
Well, not only that, but it's they came out at a time when a lot of people weren't playing, so
right.
I feel even now it's ooh, where did you get that? And it's the Darkmoon Fair, it took 10 minutes, you know what I mean? So if you haven't done it in a while, definitely check it out, because there's a lot of cool stuff you can get from the Darkmoon Fair. Also, LFR Wing 4 for Nighthold will open on March 7th, as well as the very first Mists of Pandaria Time Walking, which will run from March 7th to March 13th. And also, don't forget, guys, that the 4 Azeroth promotion and Heroes of the Storm that can land you this primal flame saber guy, that is until March 14th. You have to play 15 games on a Warcraft hero with a friend in your group of Heroes of the Storm, and then you will get this mount in World of Warcraft, as well as a mount in Heroes of the Storm and a stim pack in Heroes of the Storm. And Heroes of the Storm is a free-to-play game, and when you start out, you're given a choice of 3 free Warcraft heroes, so you actually do not have to spend any money at all to get this mount, and you can also do it in AI games, so you don't have to worry about playing against people if you don't want to. But I went and I did this. I did these all in competitive and quick play and stuff. I didn't mess around. I went in and I
just did AI. That's actually one of our
Q&A questions. It's way faster. If you're trying to do it in AI, it's going to be the fastest way. But I was just hey, I haven't played this in a while, and I had a ton of fun. I ended up playing 10 extra games just for fun, and I don't know, Tyrande is in a really good place right now. I was messing people up. That was fun. So yeah, if you haven't done that yet, definitely do it. You don't want to miss out on that mount, because you've only got 11 days left to get it, and it's a pretty mount.
Also, a tip, if you don't want to spend any money, is when you do the tutorial, after you do it, you have a choice between Jaina, Muradin, or Tyrande, and they all count as a Warcraft hero. So you can get one easily that way.
Yeah, and there's also a free hero rotation every week as well. So, and there's always a Warcraft one in there. And you can sort, when you go to click your hero, if you click the W, it'll only display Warcraft heroes they have available to play. So it's really quick, especially someone said doing it on bot is so easy. On the beginner bots, you can get that done in 2 hours. It's so quick. So yeah, that's all the stuff that's going on live servers. Now, there's also been some stuff going on Wowhead that we want to talk about. We'll do that. We'll do this part last. We'll do that last. Okay. But so the model viewer got updated, correct?
Yeah. So this is pretty exciting. Usually whenever we make a transmog post, people are asking if we could show the more elaborate pieces on tier sets, and we had this big update. So all the little extra gems and ribbons and armor plates are now visible on, tier 19 and 20 sets. So we made a post on it. We have some improvements. So an example is on the preset, there's those ribbons and wax seals on the side, and then the big bulky belt. That wasn't showing up before on Wowhead because Blizzard coded those bits differently. So we had to adjust our model viewer to account for it. And now that's all good. So yeah, you'll notice this the most on belts and boots, but also things leg plates that flare out more, or gloves that are really bulky, or the chest piece has a big gem. I think Warrior tier 19 was showing a yellow gem before, and with this change, it's showing a red gem now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, lots of little details. We also fixed some bugs. The cloaks have less white pieces on the back, and they have more accurate borders. And then some NPCs, like the Nightborn, look like they had a bunch of models loading at once, someone is wearing 10 robes at once, and we fixed that as well. And finally, because Blizzard changed how PTR mounts are, set up in their data, we didn't have the correct mount models loading at first, but we fixed that. So now all the models open, so you can go to Wowhead's model viewer, open up all the class mounts, like this Abyss Worm, all the 7.2 stuff, and preview out all the animations if for whatever reason you don't want to watch the video. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. Plus, then you can preview it on your own character, and it's It's way cooler because you can just, I don't know,
You can
more
like
options.
see the mount special or like the walk animation or run and all that stuff.
Yeah. Also going on Wowhead is we have teamed up once again with Lulaboo Jenkins. You may know her from Twitch. She's the best. I absolutely love her. And she's been doing some Warcraft cooking shows on her Twitch stream. She recently, right? It was today or yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. She did Dragon Breath Chili. And we're going to do another Warcraft cookbook giveaway with her soon. So make sure that you're following her on Twitter and stuff to keep an eye on when she's streaming and when she's streaming cooking stuff and when she's going to be collaborating with Wowhead to do a giveaway. Also...
Yeah, this has been really popular for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, she's adorable, too, and she approaches things in a way that's so fun and, like, relatable. I just love her. I really do.
Yeah.
I just love her as a human being. She's a really good person. Moving on to other collaborations, we've also been doing more stuff with Nabble lately. I love him.
Yep.
These are all just people that I adore.
Cool.
I love him. He is doing a spotlight lore on Nighthold. So if you don't understand the raid and its story, oh my god. I did like an hour-long video on Nighthold and tried to poorly explain the lore.
It can get really intense.
What's funny about it is like a bunch of the lore in Nighthold is kind of like, well, they were in Nighthold and then things happened. Like
it's a mix of bosses being like, oh, I guess they're here, and then like here's an elaborate quest line behind this other boss.
Yeah. My favorite is like there's like there's the botanist and he's like
he's just
his like background is so funny because he was just like a guy who really liked to study botany and he went to the University of Suramar and he studied all this stuff and then when it got sealed away he got kind of corrupted by the Nightwell but like also was super obsessed with plants and the way that they can divide and become new things. So like he kind of went mad scientist and just wanted to divide everything and make it more things like, and that's like the story.
It's funny. I'm looking at Novel's comments in the video and he's like, some of you are asking, why exactly do we fight this guy who likes plants? And that's because we have to defeat the strongest mages before we face Gul'dan, so he's a friend of Elysan, so he has to die. But it's just funny.
We're sort of encroaching on his territory, too, so he's just sort of defending himself because we're in there, but, like, we're going in there and we're beating up scientists and scholars. Like, it's rude. We're not fighting clean at all. We're fighting dirty. I mean, they're tough, but still.
We made this post on Sunday, and there's a video, and it links to Wowhead. And on Wowhead, we don't just have a transcript. We try to link to, like, quests and stuff that might help you, actually experience the lore in the game, or, like, a cinematic, or, like, hey, like, here's a cool thing this boss drops, which you might want to get.
Yeah. So definitely check that out as well. If you haven't seen Novel's videos, they're amazing. Like, he knows so much about World of Warcraft. It's unreal. And he has the greatest voice for this kind of stuff. He's a storyteller.
I know.
So definitely check those out because we love him and he's awesome. And then one last thing that we wanted to talk about was how appreciative we are of your support for Wowhead with everything that's been going on the past couple weeks. Do you want to just, like, TLDR for anybody who doesn't really know?
So there was this site called Wow Eden that was trying to do malicious things to Wowhead search rankings, like making you think you're going to Wowhead, but like
like the post would come up if you Googled, say you Googled like lore Wowhead, and that's all you Googled. Like it would come up, and it would be like the title would be Wowhead, and then the preview would look like Wowhead. But if you looked at the URL, it would be Wow Eden, and they were doing this intentionally so that they were kind of stealing Wowhead's search results. But the kicker here is that when you clicked on their links, it didn't direct you to Wowhead or even their site. It redirected you to like naughty sites.
Yeah, it was like Amazon sometimes, but like porn other times. And it was not a good situation.
Not good. It was not good at all. And it's not, I mean, we're kind of talking about it lightly, but it's really serious. Like it's a very, very serious thing that they did. But as of right now, just to update you, Google and GoDaddy and everybody has been very helpful, and they're no longer online. They're offline. And now Wowhead staff is working behind the scenes to try to fix the search results of something like 500,000 posts.
Yeah, like Wowhead has millions of pages, but just hearing like, oh, like 500,000 of our posts now don't show up in Google, like that is kind of scary. So we've seen some progress made. Like I have a list of examples that were affected, and some of them are showing up now, but not all of them. So it's still something we're keeping an eye out. And we just want to say, like, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate people that, we're sharing the post and, saying we hope we got it fixed and, linking Wowhead to people that couldn't actually find Wowhead. And, stuff like that will help us get back up there with SEO, having a strong, solid base of people that are, visiting the links and sharing that and linking that on, their blogs or websites or whatnot.
And just to be clear, too, these were not the search results within Wowhead. Like, Wowhead has a search box on Wowhead. That was not affected at all. All of these were spoofs. So if you Googled something and sometimes it would look like it was Wowhead, but it wasn't. If you actually looked at the link, it wasn't. So this was, I mean, someone asked if there was any way to prevent it. I mean, it's sort of like how streamers sometimes, unfortunately, will get doxxed or get swatted. It's just something that somebody malicious decided to do, and it's not allowed. It's not legal. I mean, they're definitely going outside of the law.
We were reporting it for a few weeks, actually, to Google, and, like, we weren't really getting action. It just was, like, automated forms or just, being forwarded, and then we finally made this post on the front page, and it took off, and it got removed later that day.
Yeah, so because of you guys being so supportive and being vocal about this being a problem, Google got on it and, like, actually removed the site. So now it's just a matter of backtracking and fixing all of, the posts that got their search engine optimization sort of destroyed in the process. So we just wanted to make sure that you guys knew how grateful we were for all of there's been a really huge outpouring of support. Like, so many people have even just been tweeting me and you and being like, because of all of this, I wanted to show my support, so I signed up for Wowhead Premium, or like, I just want to let you know, like, I've been going out of my way to share stuff on Wowhead because I feel so bad about what's going on, and like, that makes it so much better with everything that's been going on. Like, Perk especially, because she's the site manager, has been really bummed out about it. Like, I feel really bad. I never know how to handle it. Like, you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know what to do either. So, like, I don't know. It's just like, we really, really appreciate all of the kind words and all of the support, and it's been really great. So hopefully we'll get everything taken care of on the back end in the very, very near future. And in the meantime, we really appreciate everybody who's using our webhook and Discord, who's sharing our links, who's retweeting our tweets and sharing our Facebook posts, and just kind of showing support to Wowhead, because it's been trying on our end for sure. But thank you so, so much again for all of the support. We really, really appreciate it. And, I mean, this isn't really related at all, but Blizzard did give us a new discount code for this month. And it is code WowHead15March, and that will get you 15% off of any plushie from the Blizzard Gear Shop. Now, keep in mind, this does include things like the Hearthstone pillow, the Abathur symbiote hat. I almost called it a helmet. Jesus. The Abathur symbiote hat, as well as the plushie slippers, anything that is a stuffed animal type thing. Is covered under this. And also our discount codes do work on things that are on sale. So that is code WowHead15March, and it will get you 15% off of all of the plushies from the Blizzard Gear Shop, like Pepe, or one of the ones that we're giving away in our Twitch chat right now. Yep, or any of the ones you see behind Perk.
Mischief should work, but he is out of stock, so sadly no Mischief. But everyone else works.
Yeah, and then we're going to be taking some questions. Perk's going to grab them right now, but I did want to let you guys know that we will not have a show next Friday because I will be at PAX East. Although if you guys are interested, I will be streaming from there a couple times, and I'll have a video later on this week just giving you guys updates on what times that will be, but it won't be like a Wowhead Weekly type stream. It'll just be gameplay.
Yep. Okay, so I have some questions. The first one
Perseverance won! He won the plushie. He was one that subscribed to us today.
Awesome. Congrats.
Sorry,
we also like doing a lot of these little like giveaways with Twitch. Like Sass really likes giveaways, so we're trying to do that more on like our Discord and Twitch streams, and try to spread the love.
I feel really bad. I screwed up the Facebook stream today. Well, I didn't really screw it up. It was screwed up. So, like last week we had like a couple hundred people watching us live, and this week we have like 20 because I'm streaming on 2 platforms at once right now.
Yeah.
And if I do Facebook before Twitch, every time I go live on Twitch, it ends the Facebook stream. So I started and ended the Facebook stream like 8 times on accident and didn't realize it. So then it won't push to any viewers. So Sorry about all that.
Oh, well.
I
We
will
are
be
learning.
streaming on my personal channel at PAX, not on Wowhead's channel. Go ahead, Perk. I'm sorry.
Someone wanted clarification on when we said the artifact had to be maxed out to get the class mount. Does it mean it has to be at rank 54? So, in patch, so not exactly. So in patch 7.2, the 54 point infinite trait is being removed, and if you have points in it, they will be refunded.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do a special quest line, you then have a bunch of like more interesting traits to put point into, as well as your other traits having extra ranks. So what you do have to get maxed out is that you need to get your artifact to 35 traits, do the special quest line to open up more traits, and then fill out each put your points into the new traits, and then 1 out of 50 points into the final concordance of the Legion Fall trait.
Yes.
So
sounds confusing right now, but it's all written up on Wowhead's guide, which is currently still on the first page.
Yeah.
I can link it for you.
Yeah.
I'm linking.
So
it.
yeah, basically you don't need to max out your artifact in 7.2, but you will have to grind out some more artifact power even if you were at 54 traits before.
We were talking about maxed out artifacts, we were talking about some of the additional rewards, like the Pepe that you can get for if you're a demon hunter, or the Death Knight pets. So yeah, which again, I don't even know that I would take that with a grain of salt because it'll probably change.
Yeah, so right now it's actually 43 traits. In 7.2 it's 43 traits, but like the traits are more expensive in 7.2 to go along with the extra artifact knowledge and stuff being easier to get.
Yeah.
I think if you are at like 54, you can get a few points into the new traits, so it does count for something.
Yeah.
But you still have to grind out some more AP.
Yeah.
Let's see. The emissary mounts, will they be gated like RNG, like the Fox mount quest for Withered Army training? So we're not really sure how it works. We don't think anyone has actually ground out like 20,000, reputation on the PTR. But we know that there are special caches that you get when you get 20,000 rep. There's an achievement for collecting 10 of them. And we know that the mounts are related to them in some way, but we don't know if it's 100% or 0 or whatnot.
Yeah.
There's just one special thing related to each faction.
Yeah.
The Illidari Pepe, could you use him to go back and do the Warlord's Pepe achievement? We don't know because no one, again, has maxed out their artifact weapon on the PTR. And we don't want to say anything when we can't, try it.
Confirm it for sure.
They have mount skins for heroes. Do you think they will have skins for WoW mounts? As I would like to get a Fel Green Flame Saber mount. I don't think it will be tied to this promotion. It seems like sort of mount skins and recolors coming in the same patch is a new thing they're trying with the class mounts, and we went over how we think that has some things they need to iron out.
Yeah. And I hope they do.
Yeah. We also haven't seen any colors in the data for the other for any other colors of the mount. So it doesn't seem to be something that Blizzard has designed. Yeah. In a Wowhead post, it talked about if you had a legendary for all 3 specs, then when you switch to a new spec, it would count as if you had 1 legendary ready. Well, the crafted legendaries conflict with this too. So I'm not sure. I know that a crafted legendary and follower equipment will not count towards bad luck protection, though. So, like, if you have 1 legendary drop and you have a crafted legendary, the game will have, like, the higher drop rate thinking that you're on legendary 2 versus legendary 3.
Yeah.
What eye level will these crafted legendaries start at? They should be the same as the other legendaries.
Or whatever the new... Is there a new eye level in 7.2?
No, it's 940. That's the thing.
Yeah.
All legendaries after Nighthold are 940, so they are 940 as well. Let's see. Oh, someone suggested I remind people that the artifact power tokens are not transferable again. That it would be good if they did that for rep tokens, but also remind people in artifacts when it got closer. That's a good idea.
Yep.
If unlocking hidden artifact hints, do they unlock account-wide for alts with their hidden appearance?
I would guess
sure.
no.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is referring to like the 7.2 challenge artifacts, which have not actually been tested yet on the PTR.
Yeah.
So I assume they just work. If balance of power is not becoming account wide, I don't think these challenge things
Yeah.
would become wide too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm seeing a few questions that we actually answered in stream, so I don't need to get into that again. But yeah, that is about it.
That's it?
So yeah, stay tuned this weekend. Yeah, that's it.
So recapping this stream, Panzer got mad.
Yep.
Not mad, but yeah. So, well, I want to thank everybody again who subscribed to us during this stream. We really appreciate it. Also, to everybody who is subscribed to us using Twitch Prime, you do have to do that every month. You can't, it won't auto renew. And if you guys don't know what Twitch Prime is, if you have Amazon Prime, Amazon allows you to subscribe to one Twitch channel per month for free. So if you would like to use Wowhead's emotes, which I need to upload more of those. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at I'm sorry. I've been in Europe and then Florida and then I was sick and now I'm do you know how many videos I have to edit right now? Do you want to guess? It's 10. I have 10 videos to edit. And, like, I'm filming another one when we're done with this because I have no control of my life, clearly. So, what was I saying? Thank you so much for subscribing, Bum Dusty.
Yep.
But, yeah, thank you so much, everybody who subscribes to us, who takes the time to watch us here live on Fridays on Twitch or Facebook. Keep in mind, we will not be live next Friday because I will be at PAX East. I hope to see any of you guys there if you're going to be there. Also, I'll be streaming live from there all weekend. So, that's a thing that's going on. My nose is very red right now. I have a cold and I've been like sniffling all. Someone asked if my nose was red. It is. It's red. I have a cold. Thank you to everybody who's watching us live. We really, really appreciate it. We usually stream every Friday around 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific Time, and then we upload the VOD later on that evening to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/wowhead. Again, the live streams are on facebook.com/wowhead as well as twitch.com/wowhead. So thank you to everybody who subscribes to our YouTube channel and watches this there. And also an extra special thank you to everybody who is using Wowhead Premium, which is a subscription to Wowhead that essentially shuts off all of the ads. It also gives you other perks like being able to customize your Today on the Broken Isles. It lets you talk in a special color when you're in the comments section. You get to track quests. There's a bunch of little perks, but the big one is obviously that you have no ads. If you're signed in on mobile, it'll work on both mobile and desktop. You can be logged in on both at once and it still works, no ads. It is $1 per month, and if you buy it in a year, you get 3 months for free, so it's only $9 for 12 months of ad-free, and it directly supports Wowhead and our content, and we really, really appreciate everybody who does that. We are going to go. I hope that you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and if you decide to go on the forums and talk about all the things I'm angry about, please be kind to one another, because I don't in any way want to promote any sort of negativity or toxic
and play
behavior.
The PTR first, so you can form your own opinions after.
Yeah. Don't just listen to me and my elemental inequality rants. They're ridiculous. We're going to go, though, guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you in 2 weeks for the next edition of Wowhead Weekly. Have a good week, guys. Bye.
Yep. Bye.